Hello. I'm not very good with microphones, but I'll do my best. Thank you. Okay. Probably going to do a lot of reading. I'll only take a couple minutes of your time. I was considering wearing my running shoes tonight in case I wanted to run out the door real quick. My running shoes also, I wanted to talk a bit about them. When I was released from prison, I had nothing but institutional clothes to wear. And one of the first things that Sister Carol did when I was released was took me to go buy a pair of shoes. When I lived at Coyote House, I also wore those runners to go jogging with Father Eduardo. The jogs were fun and it was quiet, except for my occasional complaints of can't we run a little faster? To which he would just look at me and smile and we'd jog along. Being the hot shot that I can be at times, I once ran ahead and I jumped into the air because he was going too slow, of course. Unfortunately, I landed poorly on an injured leg that I have. All of a sudden, his running speed was just fine by me. Yeah. Oh, lots of people. Notice, I don't know if you can see, but on my tie I have daisy flowers. Daisies are one of my favorite flowers, and at Next Step I also learned they're one of Kathleen's favorite flowers. We learn a lot about each other at Next Step, and we also learn a lot about ourselves. Now when I see daisies, I often think of all that she's done for me over all the years. Yeah. Okay, so my adult life was a struggle with addictions. As hard as I tried to create a good life for myself and my young family, I was always led back into substance abuse and the criminal behaviors that came along with it. Being a very not too clever criminal, of course, I was constantly getting arrested and getting sentenced to some short times in jail. In my 30s, I received 3 sentences, one after another. It was 2 years. Yeah, that was a rough time. It was 2 years, 3 years, and then 5 years. I was out of prison for less than a year in that 10-year period. That it totally severed my relationship between me and my kids and my family and everybody that loved me. Every time I was released, I had nowhere to go. I was homeless and very quickly right back into the same behaviors. The last time I was arrested, as I mentioned, my injured leg, my leg got hurt. I don't need to talk about how. I thought it was going to be permanent. I was actually quite scared. Everything that I do for work and just the way things I do all depend on my physical strength and my ability. So to suffer this injury to my leg, I was quite concerned what my future would look like. So I turned to God and I asked him to show me a new way to live, and he has. My first experience feeling part of inside of a church was in Stony Mountain. I used to enjoy going to Saturday masses and singing along to all the songs. Sorry. Yeah, one of my favorites was Because He Lives. My singing was horrible, but what was beautiful was the way that everybody in the chapel would tolerate me singing out of tune and off time. After one of the masses, I met Father David Kramer, and he told me about Sister Carol in Coyote House. And then I asked our chaplain, Bolgada, if he would connect me with her, and he did. Over the next several months, Kathleen and Sister Carol came and met with me in Stony Mountain, and they introduced me to the Enneagram. It's a tool that we use for personal discovery. This is a Next Step, a tool that we use for personal discovery, some understanding of others, as well as for behavioral restraint and change. Thank you. I was later transferred to the minimum security at Rockwood, and there Kathleen met with me every week, as she does with many other young men, all men, that are also looking for a better way to live. In Rockwood at the Sunday evening fellowship, I met Catherine and Eva. We used to sing songs there as well. One of my favorites was I Just Want to Be a Sheep. We used to have a lot of fun singing that one. Yeah. Catherine and Eva were also volunteers at Next Step. And at the groups, I always told Eva she was my crying partner because her and I were so easily moved by the struggles that everybody shared, as well as their joyous successes. We had many celebrations at Next Step: birthdays, graduations, babies, new jobs, many more. My favorite celebration, though, is it's a big one too. It's our Christmas party. The first Christmas party I should tell you about the Christmas party. We sing carols. We recite a few bits of scripture. And Santa comes with gifts for all the kids, for all the young children. It's awesome. Also, past members of Next Step attend the Christmas party, and then you guys get to meet with them as well, and see how life changes if we just stay on the right path. My first Christmas party was on pass from Stony Mountain, and my kids were also invited. I had not seen them at that time for over 3 years. In that time, they had all graduated, and my granddaughter was born. It was both difficult and joyous. The next time I saw them was at Easter Vigil at Holy Redeemer Church. This time my son-in-law and my granddaughter came to join part. I received First Communion on that Easter Vigil with Deacon Ken Perrette as my sponsor, and my kids there, and my Next Step family, all to witness and to celebrate. That was another extraordinary pass from Stony Mountain, made possible by these wonderful people. Pardon me. I volunteered at Habitat for Humanity also while I was in Rockwood, the minimum security, and a little bit more when I was also released from prison. The director of construction, Vern Coop, he saw something that he liked in me, and he offered me full-time work. When they agreed to put me through the apprenticeship for carpentry, I accepted the position. I'm now a Red Seal carpenter. Coyote House was understanding of the financial stresses that transition between work and school and back again would cause over the 4-year course that I was in. One time, actually I was living at Massey Apartments at this time. My income was long delayed. So they offered me a position as the house manager to help ease that difficulty. And if it wasn't for them, it's just incredible how, with the support, I was able to achieve. So today I'm nearly 9 years sober. My relationships with my kids and my family are great. I've been steadily paying down my debt to Autopac, which is part of the crimes which I had to serve time for. I'm once again a homeowner. I started a small business to make some extra money with this new home, mycarpenter.ca, check it out. Yeah. And this past Monday, Habitat for Humanity, they just announced that I am the new construction supervisor for Manitoba. Such a blessing.